Howdy everybody. The reason that I have this thing on and I didn't last time is because it reduces plosives, so like P's and S's and stuff, it makes them less noticeable. It's called a pop filter. If it's too in the way, let me know because I can see how that would be a bit distracting. I don't know if it's blocking my face at all. My vision is terrible, so even though I have a viewfinder on my camera, I can't see what's going on. If you haven't already, then please hit the subscribe button down below and hit the little bell so you can get notified when I make new videos and you can see more content that's similar to this. I know that you have heard people say that 1,000 times, but I don't say it very often because I figure if you want to subscribe, you'll subscribe. You don't need a reminder. However, I do feel like I should say it every once in a while. Also, if you haven't, I would highly recommend checking out my Instagram because I post content on there constantly and I work really hard at the photo shoots that I do and everything, so I would love if you guys want to hop on there. Plus, that's where I respond to messages the most, so if you want to just DM me and chat, we can be besties, and I would love that because I love getting to know you guys, and if I can get to know more of you, that'd be freaking awesome. Anyways, so this isn't the video that I was planning to make today. I was actually going to make a video about the positive things that came out of my treatment experience, and I'm still going to make that video. Today, I decided to do something very different, and I'm sure that you already know what that is because you've read the title of the video, but I'm gonna tell you anyways. I am going to show you guys my assignments and my notes from treatment. Funny little backstory before we get into this. This binder of mine from treatment has been in somebody else's house for 1.5 years because I went to a friend's birthday party in a cabin in Park City, and a lot of us had to go in my car because my car had more room, but I had a suitcase in my car, so we put my suitcase in somebody else's car, and then the suitcase was just there for 1.5 years, and it had this binder in it, so I have a lot of stuff in here that I have not seen in a very long time. I haven't seen this stuff in here since I put it in here. So unfortunately, this binder is from my second time in treatment. The first binder that I had my dad mail it to me while I was there because I wanted to see my assignments, and I ended up leaving it there. I tried to get it back, but it was just gone. The second time I was there, I went back very soon after, so they didn't make me do as many assignments because I had already done most of them. Luckily, I did transfer a few of the assignments from that notebook to this one before I lost it. I'm not gonna share the stuff that's deeply personal because I feel like I should have some privacy to some degree. And if you can see here, I don't know if it'll focus on it, but there's a little Tatum H up there, which if you did not know, Elisha is my middle name and it's my mother's name. All right, let's see what we have here. I'm kind of nervous. Is that weird? I'm very oddly nervous. Okay. So first I just have a bunch of random pictures that I like hung up like this. Pictures of me with my friends that I hung up in my room while I was there. Oh, okay, cool. This was something from a group that I wrote down because I really liked it. It says, in 100 years, no one is going to be talking about how much you weighed or what you looked like because it doesn't matter. I really need to be wearing my glasses for this. In 100 years from now, what do I want people to be talking about? Not my weight, so why focus on that so much? That doesn't define me. I am glad that I made that realization. I don't know if I was just writing it down or if I actually noticed that in the moment. Shame is fear in disguise, and it's actually about other people because I'm such a people pleaser. That is very true, actually. I think that I need to look at this stuff more often to give myself a reminder. All right. This is from a group. 11 a.m. Feeling overwhelmed with pressure that I put on myself. Woof. That was one thing that I really liked about groups, actually, was that we always had to start the group by going in a circle and saying how we were feeling. And we had a few groups a day, so it kind of forced us to not run away from our emotions, but actually have to like sit there and figure out what we were feeling multiple times a day. And that wasn't fun, but it was actually really nice and helped me a lot in the long run. What I want to be known for: my kindness and helpfulness and my humor. I also want to be known as a safe and accepting person and for my heart. That embarrasses me a little bit, but also it's like kind of sweet. Little 19-year-old me. It's only 2 years ago, but it feels like forever ago. The next part says 3 good things that happened today. I picked out an outfit and wore jeans I never wear because they make my legs look big. That was a thing that I did for a while. I refused to wear jeans because I had extreme body dysmorphia in them. And I remember this was a really big moment for me, and I forced myself to just ignore it, and I slowly got more and more comfortable with jeans, and now I freaking love jeans. So I laughed a lot. Aw, I'm happy that I laughed. And I found a new thing to like about myself. So that's cool. I like that. Oof. This was my safety crisis plan. They would not let us discharge without creating a safety crisis plan that we had to give to our family. I'm pretty sure that they don't have it anymore or remember that it exists. Things to do. My goals for healthy behavior: be honest with treatment team and support people. Follow my meal plan. Reach out for support when needed. Self-correct when needed. My eyes are starting to burn because I have allergies and didn't take my medication. Practice healthy coping mechanisms. Be open to change / trust treatment team. Be consistently mindful with myself and my emotions. And then we're not going to share my warning signs, triggers, and stressors because I feel like that could be triggering to a degree. I like sharing things about my story, but I also feel like getting into specifics like that is just a bit too risky. Okay, so for this assignment, I had to write down my red flags and my action plan. So what I was going to do to combat these things. One was become avoidant and dismissive of my behaviors. And these are the red flags. Convincing myself that I'm fine, making excuses for my behaviors, and convincing myself that it doesn't mean anything. That was a big one for me. Start being secretive. Yes, I become very secretive, unfortunately. Start isolating myself. I mean, hello, I ended up back there partially because we had a pandemic where that was all we had to do. So, increased obsessive thoughts and lying. And then the action plan was tell treatment team immediately about any of these, reach out for support, have somebody hold me accountable, ask to go eat even when I don't want to, drink Boost to self-correct. I have not had Boost in a very long time and I don't plan on it. I got very sick of that stuff very quickly, but it did help me in a time when I needed it. Maintain honesty. So basically a lot of the same things that I told you guys before. All right, what's this? Reflections on food challenges and extras. I don't know if it was a good idea to make this video. I feel like there's a lot of stuff in here that I could be sharing and I just don't know if I should or not. I didn't think about the fact that there was stuff in here that might not be appropriate for a recovery channel. Oh, okay, this one's good. What are you learning from taking food challenges and extras? What this was during meals or snacks after you finished what you had eaten, then you could ask to get an extra thing. And that was something that we were challenged to do for an assignment, was to ask for an extra. Basically like going outside of our meal plan because we wanted something else, not because our eating disorder was telling us that we shouldn't have it. We were just asking for it because we wanted it or because we wanted to get the assignment done. So what I wrote that I was learning was, over the course of a few days, my negative thoughts towards it, I think I meant my eating disorder, get quieter, or my negative thoughts towards taking the extras get quieter, and taking extras isn't going to mess me up if I don't give it the power to. Having an extra isn't going to make the world end like it feels like it will. That being said, it's still a big struggle. Then it says, how do you view taking food challenges and extras at this present moment? And then I wrote, I still view it as terrifying, but not impossible. It's something that needs a lot of work. I'm proud of myself, honestly. Like, I've come such a long way, and I had no faith in myself. So I'm happy that even without having faith in myself, I still wound up at this point, and I'm just very grateful. What coping skills do you use or have you been able to develop when taking food challenges and extras? Drawing, watching funny TV shows, avoiding my emotions. That's not a coping skill, dude. How is this helping you to trust your body? It's not necessarily helping me trust my body, but it's helping me to respect it. And that is 100% the first step. I really needed to learn how to respect it before I could accept it and trust it. And trust that it's doing what it needs to do, and that when it craves something, that's because I'm neglecting it of certain things. Ooh, okay, this next page is rough. We do not need to go through that. Okay, honestly, like, this is so sad. I don't even remember being the person that felt these things about myself. I wrote down that I'm meant to have bad things always happening to me, and that I deserve to live in hell. You know what? Treatment may have been really freaking difficult, but at least I can say I don't feel like that anymore, and I haven't for a very long time. I like myself. I do. I don't feel those things, and I'm really sad that I did for so long. This is making me depressed. I did not think about this video thoroughly before I decided to make it. Hopefully we'll find some more positive things in here. Oh my... I'm like... having a moment, honestly. I don't even know what to say. This paper...
Hello, so I did a terrible job of explaining what that orange paper was, and so I'm just making this video to insert into the video instead. Basically, we were supposed to write down a lot of the negative things that people had said to us that stuck with us throughout our life. I'm sure that had some kind of constructive meaning, but I don't see how, because then you're just holding on to grudges. And then in the middle, we were supposed to write down one thing that somebody had said to us that made us really happy, that stuck with us, and I wrote down something that one of the texts there had actually said to me that was really, really sweet and still sticks with me to this day. And basically, I was just having a really hard time with weight restoration and everything else, and I was very insecure about how I looked, and she said, people don't love you because you're beautiful, they love you because you're sunshine, and it made me very, very happy. So that's what I wrote down. Anyways, that is what all of those things were on the paper, and I'm blurring some of those things out because I just, for the sake of this video, want to be as safe as possible. I really try to be as cautious as I can about doing things that will hurt your guys' mental health. So maybe I'm a little bit overly cautious, but I feel like that's better than being not cautious enough.
Tatum. That's what kids used to call me in school, and I wrote it down on the stupid paper. Clumsy, airhead. This helps me see how far I've come. However, I'm happy that I've moved on from this, and I don't need to go back to that place, and I don't think I'm gonna be keeping these. Oh, one assignment that we had to do was write a letter to our body, and I wrote a song to my body instead. Anyways, this one was called Identifying Your Fears for Recovery. I was afraid that my weight was just gonna keep increasing and increasing, and apparently I wasn't the only one. So if that's a fear that you have, you're not alone. That's how a lot of people feel. I was afraid of letting go of a huge part of myself because I could not at that moment separate myself from my eating disorder. I was not able to really identify it as a separate thing. It felt like part of me, and one that I was so heavily focused on all the time that it felt like one of the major parts of me, if that makes sense, and I didn't want to lose myself. But what I did not realize at the time was that I was actually finding myself. Will feel lost and won't know myself, that I'll have to figure out who I am without it. That's very true. I felt really lost for a long time, but I have found myself, luckily, and I can say that I'm very happy that I did, because turns out, have much more of a personality without an eating disorder. Not that I don't still have one. I mean, I'm in recovery. I'm not like recovered. Just have a lot more of a personality without that controlling my every thought and my every move. Having to go back to my life and function when I don't feel capable or smart enough. Not feeling smart has always been a giant insecurity of mine, and I still feel a little bit that way, but not nearly to the extent that I used to. This one was just a gratitude list. We were supposed to write what we were grateful for that our body did for us. And instead I drew a picture of what's supposed to be a person, but it looks a lot more like an alien. I wrote that I'm grateful for my arms because they let me give hugs. That is very true. I am a big hugger. This was a list of all of my rules, my eating disorder rules. I'm not sharing this, but I am happy to have it because my dietitian wanted a list like this like a year and a half ago. So I can finally be like, look, dietitian, I finally did it. A year and a half later, aren't you proud? I will, however, tell you the recovery rules that my dietitian in treatment replaced some of them with. 1 was eat intuitively. 2, hydration is important. 3, food can be tasty. That's not really a rule, but I'll take it. It is true. 4, not knowing is usually better for my mental health. I think we were talking about numbers, because I get really hung up on numbers. 5, living life how it's meant to be lived is better than making choices based off of unhealthy thoughts. So true, dude. 6, eat at a pace that is appropriate and good for you. 7, don't give in to paranoia. I became very paranoid when it came to food stuff. I don't have to compensate for eating outside of my meal plan was another one. And a whole other long list of triggers. This is so weird to me because I literally don't get triggered by 90% of things now. It's really cool, I guess, that I overcame like a lot of things apparently. Then we had to write down specific memories, like a detailed memory of something that makes things triggery for you. This one is called Things I Have a Hard Time Accepting and Why. One of them was that I can't solve all of my issues alone. I've always gotten through things that I'm struggling with emotionally by myself, so admitting that I can't fix this issue alone this time was and is hard to accept. The next one was that it's impossible to be perfect. Realizing that complete perfectionism is unobtainable isn't that hard because logically that's very obvious, though actually letting that go and understanding that the standards I hold myself to are too high is difficult. I still feel that one. The next one was that it's okay not to be okay. I have a hard time accepting that it's okay to show my emotions, especially if someone around me is having a hard time. I feel like I'm weak if I show that I'm sad and would rather just lift other people up instead. You know what? I still am like that a little bit, but I feel like I've definitely come a very long way. The next one was my family history and influence on eating, which again, I'm not going to be sharing this with you guys because I just don't think that it's appropriate to share all of my family's eating habits on camera. Oh my, and then I have a whole autobiography that I did not share with you guys. I shared with you guys my eating disorder story, which was actually an assignment that I had to do for treatment. So that's where the video came from in the first place. But besides that, I had an actual autobiography that was very separate from my eating disorder. So there's a lot of things in my life that I did not share in that video. They were kept separate for reasons. Pros of recovery. I might finally be happy. Healthier coping mechanisms. Making friends who understand what I'm going through. That was a really wonderful, amazing part of treatment. Finding out more about myself. escaping chaos, negativity, and intense amounts of pressure. I think that was more so a pro of the treatment center itself and not necessarily recovery as a whole. Support and encouragement from loving people who are going through the same thing. I might learn how to feel okay with speaking my feelings. I might learn how to establish healthy boundaries along with self-acceptance and confidence to some degree. I don't know. I'm very happy with how things turned out. I'm happy that I didn't let so much of the negativity that's expressed in some of these assignments completely take me over. It makes me even more proud of myself than I was. So, and I don't feel bad saying that. I used to feel really bad for expressing that I was proud of anything, but I am proud of myself because it was work and I didn't just get to this place magically. And actually caring about yourself sometimes can be a lot harder than it seems. So I'm happy that I put in the work to get to that place, and I will forever be grateful to my past self. There are more assignments in this binder. If you guys want to see a part 2, let me know. I am just so happy to have this channel. Having this sense of connection with other people that understand my brain is freaking amazing. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, then please like the video. It just helps YouTube boost my video in the algorithm or something. I don't know. You guys are great. You guys are wonderful, amazing, supportive people. And I'm very, very happy that I have you guys in my life. So I'll see you in my next video soon. And I love you all. And I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. My legs are asleep. So, bye!